Beautiful day. We have a great crowd here. We're going to see floats. We're going to see a very good game. We have Lindenhurst, who right now is 3-0-1, and Sachem, who's 3-1. This game, the winner of this game is going to decide who's in first place of League One.
At the Lindenhurst helm is number 12, senior quarterback John Drago, and you're watching him throw the football right now. Earlier in the week, I had a chance to talk to Arrow coach Fred Fusaro, and he's worried about number 12.
They've got an excellent passing attack. I mean, John Drago is an excellent quarterback. From the little bit of tape that I've seen on him playing against them last year, I think he's got the arm strength to put the ball downfield better than any kid that we've competed against at the high school level. I think he's an excellent quarterback.
The words of head coach Fred Fusaro of the Sachem Arrows, and another guy Fred and the Arrows will have to worry about is number 45, Chris Gordon.
Mike, they will have to worry about Gordon. Gordon is one of the best. They have so many backs that the Bulldogs have right now. Here you see him here. Fine run. He's got tremendous speed. He's able to break that big play that the Lindenhurst might need today against Sachem's defense.
Sachem offensively is led by junior quarterback John Calabria. In the backfield, they have Heath Riccobono and the big senior, number 31, Mike Yarusso.
Mike Yarusso is a fine fullback. He's strong. He used to be an offensive lineman, which means he's a great blocking back in addition to being a good running back. We talked about Fusaro being a little worried about Drago. Lindenhurst coach, on the other hand, is worried about Calabria. A fine quarterback, has a strong arm, and he knows football. It's going to be a passing game for both teams, and it's going to be the best game we've seen so far.
Now, the moment of truth. The Sachem grad will have to pick maybe against this team. Who are you going with?
Mike, this is hard. Last week I came down here with my director, and we checked out the field. We scouted the location. I talked to Coach Fusaro. We walked around the school. A bit of emotion, some memories, some reminiscing. But personally, this game is going to be so close that I look for it to be decided by a Joe Parker field goal.
That means Lindy by 3, the ex-Sachem man, going against his team. We'll have the kickoff, the lineups, and everything for you in just a moment. Stay with us.
Betting against the high cost and inexperience is similar.
And we are set for football here at Sachem. This crowd is pumped. When the Arrows were introduced just moments ago, these people are into this football game.
Mike, that's definitely an understatement. I mean, last week we had homecoming with Bayshore, and it was nothing like this. They're ready for this game.
Gordon, Russo, and Getfield back deep for the Bulldogs to receive the kick by Ray Saladino. And this is Getfield with the football. And Getfield with a little bit of hole, closed up quickly, and he stopped at about the 25-yard line. That is where Lindenhurst goes on offense. They will be moving from right to left, so they go against the wind here in the first quarter. They are in the white uniforms, the green trim. Flaming Arrows of Sachem are in the home black and gold and white. Calling the signals today for Lindenhurst, number 12, senior quarterback John Drago, Ronnie Frohl, and Chris Gordon in the backfield. And Lindenhurst goes right up the middle on their first carry. Frohl with the football gets a couple. Offensive line now for Lindenhurst. At the tackles, Cliff May, Malcolm Tangway. The guards, president of the senior class, number 62, Joe Dalbora, and Pat Colabella. And the center is Ricky Marr. Drago will be throwing the ball to Jerry Castellato and Ed Wolf as they go two tight ends. And Phil Getfield and Joe Parker are the two main receivers for the Bulldogs. Second down. And they run Frohl again. And the first time we had on the Bulldogs, I was butchering Ron's name.
Yes, you were. You called him several different variations.
Just Frawley, and kids were kind of picking on Ron in practice, so we'll call him Frohl because that's his name.
That's his name. And be proud of it because Ronnie was one of the finer players on the Bulldogs.
3rd and 3 for Lindenhurst. And they run him again straight through. And a Lindenhurst first down. Picked up. And that time I believe it was Chris Gordon, 45. So it's a first down for Lindenhurst. Gives us an opportunity to set Fred Fusaro's defense for you. Peter Casali and Mike Iglio are the two defensive ends. Peter Armstrong, Tony Balsamo, the two tackles. Sean Nemeth is the nose guard. Brian Harvey and Jim Hackett, the linebackers. We'll set the rest of the Sachem defense for you in a moment. Right now, first down and 10 for Lindenhurst. 36-yard line, opening minutes. Gordon with the football. And Gordon fumbles. Oh, Sachem's got it. Jim Hackett, 55 for the Arrows, fell on the football. And one of the tri-captains for the Arrows comes up with the first turnover of the game, and Sachem takes over.
Mike, turnovers are going to be a very sad part of the game for Lindy if they can't stop letting the ball go. With a team like Sachem, you can't afford to give turnovers away like that, as well as penalties. In the first game that we had of the season, they were tormented by penalties. If that's the case this week, they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
You got a glimpse on the sidelines of head coach Fred Fusaro. Has been at the head of Sachem since 1971, has won over 100 games and 2 Rutgers Cups. John Calabria, the quarterback. Mike Giarusso, 31. Heath Riccobono behind him. Giarusso gets the football and doesn't get much. So now we look at the Sachem backfield with John Calabria, Mike Giarusso, Heath Riccobono, 34, Frank Giacchetto, 32. The line, a big one. Steve Maribel and Peter Clark are the 2 tackles. Wayne Kocher, Jeff McAndrew, the 2 guards. Danny Shear, one of the tri-captains, is the center. Calabria, if he chooses to, will be thrown to Kent Hayes, Joe Sato, Ed Hamilton, and Jim Feaster throughout the ball game. Second down, first time that Riccobono's carried the football, and he stopped for a loss behind the line of scrimmage. And Lindenhurst, defensively, they run with 4 guys on the front line. They do not use a nose tackle. Mike Newman and James Courtney at the ends. Marcus Salva and Malcolm Tangway are the tackles. The linebacking core, and it's a good one, led by co-captain Ronnie Frohl, Joe Delbora, Rob Rug, and Jerry Castaldo across the linebacking core. Mike Sessa and Mike Russo, the quarterbacks, and Dan Carson is the lone safety. Sachem faced with 3rd down and 10 now. We might see Calabria throw the football for the first time in the game. He will. Drop straight back, looking down the sidelines, and incomplete and almost.
Mike on that play, number 22, covering Mike Russo for the Bulldogs. Slipped and fell. If that ball would have been thrown better, easy touchdown for Sato. Sato had beat Russo on that play because Russo slipped.
So Mike Russo will drop back for the Arrows kick now. Snap's a good one. A high kick, and Russo lets it bounce, and Giarusso lets it bounce, and it winds up right in Hackett's hands.
Mike, already the game's only 2 series old, and Jim Hackett on 2 crucial plays, being able to cover on that Lindy bounce, able to stop it from going back any further. Also on the big fumble recovery.
There you see big number 55, Jim Hackett, one of the tri-captains. His father, the defensive coordinator for Sachem, Stephen Hackett. And Jim is a big middle linebacker. He'll be trying to clog it up all afternoon for Sachem. I don't expect this to be a wild offensive show because both of these teams have good defenses. Early on, Sachem got a turnover, couldn't do anything with it, so Lindy gets the ball back with a 1st and 10. And Frohl with the football. And he gets just a couple. And it'll be a 2nd down and 7 situation. Gordon and Getfield come in for Lindenhurst with the plays. Remember, Sachem comes in 3-1. They are in 2nd place in League One behind Lindenhurst, who comes in under head coach Rich Biancanello at 3-0-1. That 1 on the end was a tie against Connecticut, the 2nd game of the season, 13-13. 2nd and 7, pitches to Gordon right side. Gordon with some room, and he gets a 1st down as he crosses to a 25-yard line and gets to about the 26.
Mike, that's what we were talking about. Gordon is able to get outside, and if you give him a little bit of outside, he's got the 1st down easy, if not more. He's going to have to control Gordon throughout the game.
So Lindenhurst picks up their second first down of the afternoon. We played just about 6 minutes. No score from Sachem High School on homecoming here. And you can't get much better than this, Lindenhurst Sachem. First down for Drago. He still hasn't thrown the football. He hands the ball up the middle for a couple.
Well, Mike, while I was talking to Coach Bianco Nello for Lindenhurst, he had said that he expects his game to be similar to a knock-'em-down, grind-it-out game. And so far, that's what we've seen.
That was Brant Reith with the football, number 40. Brant did not play the first game against Patchogue Medford, but has since come on and has given Bianconello another option in the backfield. He got 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. Gordon with the ball, with some blockers in front of him, and Gordon just running out of real estate, close to a first down. Think he gets it right in front of head coach Fred Fiacero. Harvey shoved him out of bounds for Sachem, but it will be close to a Lindenhurst first down. Still have not marked it as such, so it'll be a 3rd down and about 1.
Mike, Lindenhurst has a wealth of good running back and receivers who are able to score. Last week, Frohl, Gordon, Kenzel, all 3 of them scored on runs. Getfeld and Gordon scoring on passes.
3rd and 1 Lindenhurst. They go with 3 backs now on the backfield. Oops, Sachem jumped, or were they drawn off? And judging by the reaction of defensive coordinator Steve Harvey to our left, looks as though Sachem jumped.
It did look like that, Mike, and that's what Lindy wants. Lindy wants to get Sachem starting on a few penalties such as that. Mike, a lot of Frisbees are being tossed in the stands today.
A lot of paper, a lot of Frisbees. It's a gorgeous day for football.
It sure is, Mike.
Sun is out. I don't know what the game time temperature is.
Mike, there you see Coach Vasaro in a huddle on the sidelines with his players.
Drago to throw the ball for the first time this afternoon. Plenty of time. Looks over the middle, picked off. I think it's Chris LaSalle, number 43.
No, Mike, that looked like it was Ken Hayes, number 23, on that interception.
Okay. So, the second turnover of the football game comes for Sachem. First time they could not do anything with it. We'll see what they can do this time.
And
on the sidelines, by the way, when Sachem comes out on offense, you will notice that John Calabria, the quarterback, has the headsets on. He's in consultation with the coaches up in the press box to our left. So he's been getting some advice. 1st and 10, Sachem just shy of midfield at the 48. Calabria to throw. Looks and caught. First down. That's Hayes with the football, number 23, the split end, 6 foot, 165-pound senior. And he picks up Sachem's first down of the afternoon.
Nice, well-executed play by Sachem, with Hayes just going to the sidelines, catching the ball right before he went out. Nice pass play by Calabria. Like during the beginning of that series for Sachem, you heard the Sachem Flaming Owl Marching Band with their Warpath song.
Stirring up all sorts of memories for you.
Yes, indeedy.
1st and 10 Arrows. They run Riccobono with the football, and he gets a couple, maybe 3 on the play for Heath Riccobono, 5'8", 170-pound senior. The Arrows were devastated, and that is an understatement by graduation. They lost 20 of 22 starters from last year's Rutgers Cup championship team. The only 2 starters they have left are Mike Russo and Jim Hackett.
Nice 2 to keep, however.
Yes. Calabria had to win the starting job. 3 people were vying for it. Calabria won it. 2nd down for Sachem. Frank Giacchetto's first carry. And he gets 2, maybe 3. 3rd down now and 5 for Sachem.
Mike, the Bulldogs are playing tight D right now against the run. They have a nice line of Mike Newman, Malcolm Tangway, Mark Salva, and James Courtney defending against any rushing attack by Sachem.
And if you'll notice throughout the game on that defensive line, head coach Rich Bianconello does not use a nose guard. He only uses 4 men up front. Gives him the pleasure, though, of using 4 linebackers, though. 3rd and 5 for the Arrows. Giacchetta with the football, and he will be close, probably shy by about 2 yards. So it'll bring up a 4th down situation.
Mike Giacchetta was stopped cold by Mike Newman on that play. Newman seeing Giacchetta and letting him go nowhere.
So now a 4th down for Fred Fusaro. Or maybe not. He was very close to the 1st down. They'll bring the chains out and measure. Ball is about at the 22-yard line, 23-yard line, and he's short by a ways. I don't even know why they brought out the yardsticks on that one. I don't think my eyes were that bad.
No, not close at all. Mike, there's only 2:35 left in this first quarter, and already you have a preview of how well played this game is going to be. Very, very tough defensive game for both teams, the Bulldogs and the Flaming Arrows.
So a 4th down and less than a yard with 2:35 left to go, and Sachem will go for it. And we'll probably see number 31, Mike Yaruso, right up the gut. We'll see.
See if he clears a hole for his tailback.
No, fumbled snap. Sachem gets it back, but they won't get the 1st down.
No, Mike, we have the Bulldogs recovering, whistles down. And the Bulldogs recovered on that. I thought Calabria was able to fall on that, Mike.
Well, it didn't much matter because it was 4th down.
True.
And Sachem would give up the ball anyway.
But that might provide the spark that the Bulldogs need to get rolling now.
So we've had 3 turnovers in this football game. 2 for Lindenhurst, 1 for Sachem. John Drago, the senior quarterback, has only thrown the football once, and it was picked off. Nope, they're going to run Reith with the football. Reith trying to get outside, but he's pulled down. Good defense by Andrew Cassara, number 21, coming back from his cornerback position to make the stop. So it'll be 2nd down and about 8 or 9 for the Bulldogs. By the way, excuse me, John, if you hear this loud, thunderous burst throughout our broadcast, the coaches for Sachem are to our left, and the press box rattles when they get upset. So if you hear that throughout, that's the reason. 1.5 to go. Drago to throw once again. Looking for Getfield, and it's underthrown. Maybe he was looking for Ed Wolf, number 84, but it was overthrown to him, underthrown to Getfield. It results in an incompletion, and it'll be 3rd down and 9.
No matter who he was going for. Mike, naturally it's homecoming. We talk about Sachem's crowd. There's not a seat in the stands. They're all over the fence. If across the field you get a glance later on, the visiting team stands are packed. Lindenhurst occupying them naturally.
3rd down and 9 now for Lindenhurst, with 1:19 left to go in a scoreless first quarter. And Gordon will try to run outside for the 1st down. And Gordon may have it.
Mike, fantastic moves on Gordon. There, a fine example of what we were talking about in the pregame show. Gordon has the moves and the speed to provide the Bulldogs with what they're going to need against the Flaming Arrow defense today.
Jim Hackett made the stop. It'll be close. No, it'll be 4th down. They're not going to bring out the chain, so he did not get the 1st down.
Looks like it's going to be about 4th and about 2, Mike.
At the 34-yard line, but Joe Parker is going to kick the football. Or is he? They're going to probably try to draw Sachem offside in this situation. See, now they're going to go to punt with Parker in the football game. And we've got flags all over the place. So Rich Bianconello had no intention of going for the 4th down with Parker in the game in the backfield. He just wanted to try to draw Sachem offside.
Which apparently he did, Mike.
With the Lindenhurst reaction, it looks like they have. If so, it would be the 2nd time that they've done it. And they have, offside Sachem. So that's another 1st down by penalty.
Mike, there's an example of very smart coaching by Bianconello.
There's Fred Fusaro with one of the officials. And if If I were that official, I'd try to move as far away from Fred as I could right now, because Fred's probably not in the best of moods. His team has turned the ball over once. They've committed 2 penalties and 2 costly ones to give them first downs. Let's take a look now, if we can, and try to see what Drago does to try to draw them offside. You see Sachem jump right about there, and that is where the penalty is called. So another first down for the Bulldogs.
Bad break for Sachem.
20 seconds left to go first quarter. Chris Gordon going to try his luck. Gordon gets a couple, maybe 3 on the play. And that should be the last play of the first half.
The first quarter, Mike.
First quarter, though. It's been such a quick quarter.
That it has.
We're talking half already.
That it has. I want this game to last, Mike, because it's the best we have so far.
And we have come to the end of the first quarter here at homecoming at Sachem. So far, a defensive battle, no score. We'll be back with the second quarter in a moment.
Betting against the high cost and
Denise McElhone and John Almond invested in their futures at St. Joseph's College and have been paid back with interest ever since. St. Joseph's offers a wide range of programs in the liberal arts, science, business, and accounting at both our Brooklyn and Suffolk campuses. At St. Joe's, the tuition is modest, the education is anything but, offering the best of both worlds, combining a strong liberal arts tradition with dynamic career preparation and counseling. So make your college years count. Invest in your future at St. Joseph's. We guarantee the interest. Ask John and Denise.
Back for the second quarter of action, Mike Sutterly, John Connell, and the entire TV 55 crew here for the high school football game of the week. And what a game it is, folks. First place on the line with Lindenhurst and Sachem. Frohl with the football. And he gets across the 45 to about the 46 or 7 yard line. Mike Iglio, number 35, big defensive end for Sachem, came up with the stop.
Mike Frohl, fine running back. You saw in the extra effort there, he was able to get another 2 yards beyond the scrimmage line.
You're talking to head coach Rich Biancanello beforehand. We got some nicknames for this Lindenhurst team, right?
Yes, we do. In fact, the offensive line is called the Hayes unit because of their offensive coach. And there's another nickname which is more interesting. We'll get to that in a few moments.
2nd and 3. And Frohl goes airborne to try to pick up that first down. I believe he's short by about a yard, so it'll be 3rd down. To the nickname.
To the nickname. In addition to be calling the Hayes unit, the offensive line is also called the Elephants. Sounds peculiar? Well, that's what I thought too. Asking the coach, he said, well, you look at a circus. They have high wire acts, trapeze acts, they have clowns, all those people that get the glory. But when you come down to it, the work is done by the Elephants. They load the circus up, move the circus around, and without them, nothing happens. The Elephants doing a fine job creating holes for the Bulldogs.
Lindenhurst in the short yardage offense, they need a yard, and Frohl will pick it up. Frohl gets across midfield into Sachem territory to about the 48-yard line. Good for another Lindenhurst first down.
Mike, on the season so far, Frohl's carried 29 times for a total of 144 yards. 5 touchdowns.
So Ricky Marr leads him out, the big center, number 50, big junior center. And it's 1st down and 10 for the Bulldogs. Drago going to throw the ball. Pumps once, got some time, looking downfield for Getfield. Caught! Oh, touchdown Lindenhurst. Phil Getfield, number 82, hauls it in for a Bulldog touchdown.
Mike, the word for that simply was burned. Getfield had the speed, was able to get open. Couldn't be a better pass by John Drago as we see it now. John Drago dropping back, looking, no one open yet, scouting out the defense. There he finds Getfield way down the sidelines. Long bomb, Getfield has it, perfect play, touchdown, puts Lindy up front right now, 6-0. Well executed, beautiful play by the Bulldogs.
So Ronnie Frohl will attempt the extra point. Frohl's got 31 straight. Looking for 32. Kick on the way, and no thank you.
Mike, that kick might have been slightly deflected by number 38 for Sachem. Well, we have Mike Zambada.
So Frohl's streak ends at 31. You talk about an announcer's jinx.
Really, Mike? You've been doing that all year.
All through my life, actually. Let's not just limit that to this year. We did it last year, and we'll continue to do it, I guess.
Well, Mike, if you're going to break a record against Sachem is not the way to do it, because break a record streak, rather, because that extra point might come back to haunt them. Can't afford to give up even 1 point against a team as good as Sachem.
So Lindenhurst, who comes in with an excellent offense. Remember, they scored 30 the first week. Then the second week against Connecticut, they're low for the season of 13. Next week against Floyd, 45. And the week after that against Longwood, 43. So Lindenhurst can score.
Lindenhurst can score, Mike, no doubt about that. They've totaled 131 points so far. 137 now.
Joe Parker to do the kicking. And Sachem gets the ball back deep. And not much happening.
Mike, that was Chris DeSimio with nothing going on. The Bulldogs all over him.
So Chris gets the ball back for the Arrows, and Sachem will go on offense now. At their own 23-yard line with junior quarterback John Calabria still at the helm.
Mike, as does the Bulldogs, Sachem has the ability of making that long play. Just last week against Brentwood, Sato scored on a 65-yard pass from Calabria. So it's still very early in this game.
9:31 left to go, second quarter. In fact, Yaruso with the football. He's stacked up. James Courtney was the guy on top. James got the football, but I think he was down. If my memory serves me correct, let's go back to a 55 flashback here for a second. I remember James carrying the ball off against Patchogue. Does that come back into your memory off a fumble recovery?
What's that again, Mike?
99, James Courtney running with the football after he recovered a fumble against Patchogue.
That, I'm not sure. I don't recall.
Okay.
I don't recall.
We'll have to go back to the archives for that one.
And the archives will be available.
But anyway, Yaruso got 2 on the play, so it'll be a 2nd down and 8 for the Arrows. Hayes goes in motion, so Calabria will throw. Looking up and picked off. He'll get, no, it'll be Russo, number 22 with the football. Mike Russo has picked it off, and Lindenhurst has come up with another turnover, but there is a flag down, far side of the field, and I believe it's going to be pass interference against Lindenhurst, but let's wait and see what the officials say.
Mike, if that's not the case, that'll be Russo's 3rd interception of the year, and Russo is in Fred Fisaro's nightmares because he had a big interception last year against the Arrows.
Well, as you see Dan Burns, the referee, talking it over with Danny Shear, one of the captains, it is a holding penalty against Lindenhurst, and I think it was a good call. That's the reason that no one for Sachem can get open. I think that there was holding.
That's a problem. You can't get there if you're being held. However, nice play by Russo.
So the interception goes for naught, and it gives the Arrows a 1st down. So 1st and 10 now for Sachem at their 35. They trail at 6-0. 8 minutes, 25 seconds left to go here in the first half of play. Calabria calling the signals. Riccobono goes in motion. Yaruso with the football. And Yaruso gets 2, maybe 3 as they run the big senior fullback.
Mike, on that play, Joe Sato was set up wide on the side of the field with Riccobono going in motion. That left only number 4, Danny Carson, covering both receivers for Sachem.
2nd down and 8 gives us an opportunity to tell you that this week's high school football game is being brought to you by Sabre Camera and Electronics. Play the winning hand at Sabre. With locations all over Long Island, Manhasset, Belmore, Comac, just to name a few. 2nd and 8 now for the Arrows. Hayes goes in motion. The pitch is to Giacchetto, and Giacchetto trips and stumbles and falls his way to a couple. I believe he was tripped up by Jerry Castaldo, number 27, the right outside linebacker for Lindenhurst.
Mike Castaldo will be another name we'll be hearing quite a bit. The other tight end playing offensively for the Bulldogs, in addition to Ed Wolf, who we haven't seen much of as of yet. But
you saw a glimpse there, excuse me, John, of John Wally, one of the backups now for Sachem. He'll be giving the plays in for the Arrows, signaling them throughout the day. 3rd and 4. Draw play, delayed. Riccobono didn't fool anybody. Sachem stopped short. The Arrows tried the delay draw, but James Courtney, number 99, and Joe Dalbora, number 62, would have none of that.
Robert Rugg was also in on that. Rugg, the leading tackler for the Bulldogs this year, with 42 as of yet.
Festera to kick the ball off. It's a low kick that Russo will let bounce. And Russo downs the ball at the 32-yard line. Before I get you in trouble, let's say it's Rug, because that's another one that Rich Biancanello came up to me and said, hey, look, you're butchering these guys' names here.
So my comments about being swept under the rug just didn't work then.
No, because it's Rug, and they're probably laughing about it.
Well, Mr. Rug, I definitely do apologize to you.
Well, it's spelled R-U-G-G, so.
Spelling was not my best.
There you see on the sidelines, Rich Biancanello. He's pacing now, just walked out of your screen, and he had the headsets on. Rich gave us 2 nice Lindenhurst hats. Uh-oh, Gordon fumbles the ball, and who's going to get it? Arrows have it. Another break in the football game for Sachem as they pounce on the 3rd turnover for Lindenhurst in this football game.
Mike, big play for Sachem, being able to get that fumble recovery right now on about the 30-yard line, the 24-yard line, excuse me, giving them great field possession.
Tony Balsamo, number 63, the big defensive tackle, pounced on the loose ball. So that I have Lindenhurst down for 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, and an interception.
This one might be the worst of all, Mike.
So Sachem gets the ball in Lindenhurst territory. Their best field position by far. Heath Riccobono with a hole, and Riccobono has daylight. Riccobono's in.
Mike, Riccobono deserved every single bit of those yards, Mike. Going right through, finding a hole, and no one there to cover. Nice play by the Flaming Arrows.
So there you see number 34 being congratulated by one of the tri-captains, Jimmy Hackett. And now with the extra point upcoming for the Arrows, they can take the lead in this football game. Joe Sato will do the kicking, number 46. Game tied at 6. Sato with the extra point on the way. Arrows have the lead.
And the fans going wild in the stands right now, Mike. What a way to start off the homecoming. With 5:06 left in the half, Sachem's up by 1, 7-6.
I think that run by Heath Riccobono was worth a second look, and let's take a look at it. He had a big hole up the middle. Not a hole that you could drive a Mack truck through, but good enough for Heath to run up the middle and into the end zone for a touchdown. And with the extra point, the Arrows have a 7-6 lead.
Like, it's still very early, but here comes back the extra point that Frohl had missed earlier. Might hurt the Bulldogs. Still very early. I'm sure we'll see several more scores throughout the game. Real nice play for the Flaming Arrows.
Getfield, Gordon, and Russo drop back deep to receive the kick for Sachem now. The Arrows lead 7-6, 5:06 left to go, first half. A low kick on the ground that Gordon will handle at the 20. And oh, he's pumped down there.
Like that was number 21 for the Flaming Arrows. Andrew Casera popping Gordon. Oh, Gordon rang his bell. Well, got his bell rung.
So Sachem with a bit of momentum here in the second quarter. Lindy struck first. John Drago to Phil Getfield. That was some pass.
Mike, on the sidelines right now, excuse me, is Heath Riccobono with apparently a little discomfort right now. He's having some trouble walking. Let's see, he's going over to the bench right now.
Okay, we'll get on top of that for you right after this play. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Gordon in motion. Drago to throw. Looking to set up the screen and do. Frall with the football, but oh, Jim Hackett's there.
Mike, Ronnie Frall will know Jim Hackett's number. Hackett threw him to the ground with a bit of vengeance.
And John was talking about Heath Riccobono, and there he is holding his right knee. And we'll try to get you a report on Heath's condition.
Mike, once again, Hackett in on the big play. Well executed on that play by the Bulldogs, but Hackett cannot be fooled on a play like that, hanging back.
2nd and 5, Joe Parker's first carry. And Parker doesn't get much. Maybe 1, maybe 2. It'll be a 3rd down and about 3 situation. Heath Riccobono, the guy you saw on the sidelines before, the guy with the touchdown pass. He's got himself some company in that family of his. 6 brothers and sisters in the Riccobono household. 3rd down for Lindy. Drago with all sorts of time. Oh, good defensive play. Looking for Russo. But Chris DeSimile came up and made a nice stop.
DeSimile read that play. Mike, that was one of the Bulldogs' curl patterns. In talking to Fred Fasaro Wednesday, he had said Drago, who he has high regard for, is one of the best quarterbacks he's ever seen throw that curl pattern. But so he's had some time to prepare his defense for that. Nice play by DeSimile.
And DeSimile will drop back deep for Parker's kick. Good snap. Parker a couple of steps up. And angling for the sidelines, takes a good Lindenhurst bounce. And DeSimile's got no place to go. Jerry Castaldo throws him out of bounds. So the Arrows come onto the football field, leading 7-6 with 3:01 left to go here in the first half. And they have the football back. I have news for you, folks. There are only 10 seconds left to go in this first half. This half has sailed by. So Sachem puts 2 men back at their own 45. Drago with the Hail Mary now with only 10 seconds left. Looking up top, looking for Getfield, and picked off, but he was out of bounds.
So Mike, Sachem's going to have the ball with 4 seconds left.
No, he was out. He was out of bounds.
So Lindy's going to have the ball with 4 seconds left.
DeSimile caught it, but he caught it out of bounds. So there'll be 4 seconds left, and Lindy will have 1 more shot. This Hail Mary pass is probably not going to work in high school football because the quarterbacks in high school football simply don't have the arms that the professionals do, and they can't throw the ball 60 yards downfield, 70 yards with any type of zip on the ball.
Well, the Bulldogs could succeed with just a very, very well-executed pass play to either Castaldo or Wolf.
Getfield is wide right, but they're going to run into Joe Parker up the middle and go into the half down 1 point. So that's it for the first half. It has sailed by. We are talking, folks, about a 40-minute first half. We've had quarters that have lasted that long.
Yes, we have.
And right now, it's a good ball game. 7-6, the Arrows lead the Bulldogs. Back with halftime activities from Sachem High School in a moment.
His leadership has created the largest tax cut in Suffolk history. County Executive Michael Logrande. Under the Logrande plan, property taxes will be reduced from 26.8% to nearly 50%, depending on where you live. But Michael Logrande is more than a tax cutter. We look to him for putting more police on the street and protecting our environment. That's a record of accomplishment. That's Michael Logrande, the tax cutter, in touch, in charge.
The 88 Buicks, Pontiacs, and GMC trucks are here at McNamara. And from our big selection of remaining 87s, it's your last chance for a closeout price, lowest of the year, 88 or 87. Here at McNamara, our goal is to sell every car and every GMC truck from $300 to $800 less than any other dealer for the same exact model. No matter where you live in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, why should you pay more just because you live a few miles from McNamara? It's worth a trip out Long Island to Port Jefferson Station to McNamara.
At halftime here at Sachem, the score, the Arrows 7 and the Bulldogs 6 in a very well-played football game so far. At least it's been entertaining. We've had a couple of turnovers. Mike Sutterly and no one to my left. Where is John Connell, you might be asking? Well, he's a Sachem grad, so we let him mingle amongst the people here. So, John, it's all yours.
90 and 91.
Mike, you found me after all. Let me tell you something, Mike. I was trying to hide. This was the best place to hide. These people are a heck of a lot cuter than you are up there. Anyway, Mike, let's really quick take a look and see what happened in this game. There you see Drago coming back from the snot, dropping back. He's going, he's looking, no one open. There he finds Getfield. He throws the ball. Getfield score. Right now they're up 6-0. Okay, so let's take a look now. Sachem, they just recovered a fumble. You have Riccobono coming in, finds a hole. He's through, 22-yard run, puts us where we are right now with Sachem up 7-6. Riccobono later on was hurt on the next play. We'll find out what happened to him, and we'll come back in a second. Mike, last week when I was here, I was going to see some of my former teachers. No one remembered me, okay? Kind of got me upset, so I want these people to remember me, and I hope you do, okay? Mike, here you go, buddy.
Okay, John, thank you very much. We're at halftime here in Sachem.
Betting against the high cost and inexpensive.
His leadership has created the largest tax cut in Suffolk history. County Executive Michael Logrande. Under the Logrande plan, property taxes will be reduced from 26.8% to nearly 50%, depending on where you live. But Michael Logrande is more than a tax cutter. We look to him for putting more police on the street and protecting our environment. That's a record of accomplishment. That's Michael Logrande, the tax cutter, in touch, in charge.
Back for the second half of action here. 24 minutes of football left on TV 55. Mike Sutterly alongside John Connell. And we are in Sachem. It is homecoming. It is a gorgeous day for football. The place is packed, and we've got a 7-6 football game.
Mike, that was only the first half. We're here, we're ready for the second half, and it's going to be just as good as the first half.
Joe Parker does the kicking. DeSimile lets it bounce. Not a good move. He better pounce on it. He does. And someone pounces on him. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Sachem.
Mike, while I was down there having a little bit of fun, I spoke to one of the coaches to find out about Heath Riccobono's condition, and it appears to be, luckily, just a sprain. He'll definitely be out for the rest of the game, but you know, he'll be around for the rest of the season, and he will be needed because Sachem's looks like they're ready for some extra games.
Having some fun. Looked like an understatement.
Like I said, Mike, it was disappointing. I came here. The only one who did remember me is one of my old girlfriend's teachers.
Ah.
And he didn't like me, in fact.
15-yard line, first down and 10. Calabria gives to Mike Yaruso. And Yaruso is stacked up. 2 yards on the play, 2nd and 8, resetting the Sachem offense for you. Number 7, John Calabria, the quarterback. Mike Yaruso and Frank Giacchetto will be in the backfield with Heath Riccobono on the bench with an injury. Peter Clark, Steve Maribel are the 2 tackles. Jeff McAndrew, Wayne Kotchard, the 2 guards. Danny Shear, one of the tri-captains, the center. So far today, Calabria been trying to hook up with Joe Sato, number 46, and Ken Hayes, number 23. Second down and 7. And this is Giacchetto with the football, and close to a first down, shy by about 2, maybe 3 on the play. Defensively for Lindenhurst, they go with 4 men up front and no nose tackle. The ends are Mike Newman, James Courtney, Marcus Salva, Malcolm Tangway are the 2 tackles. The linebackers, Ron Frau and Joe Delabora, Rob Rug and Jerry Castaldo, all 4 of them very good. Mike Sessa, Mike Russo, a pair of good cornerbacks, and Dan Carson we haven't heard much from today in the safety spot.
Mike, Carson's been lining up at the line of scrimmage, trying to follow Sato, who's been lining up very, very wide along the sidelines. So that's drawing Carson away from that safety position just to cover Sato.
You saw the measurement, short by about, let's say, a couple of feet. So it'll be third, less than a yard at the 24. This should be Yaruso. Nope, Giacchetto. And Giacchetto's thrown back.
Mike, Giacchetto got hit hard, and that's putting it lightly.
Dalboro was the one that hit him, number 62. But it's good for a Sachem first down, or so the referees have indicated. It is a first down. Dalboro has the honor of being the senior class president for Lindenhurst.
When I was at school, the senior class president at that time was a friend of mine, a girl by the name of Ellen Macy. I bet you she'd forget me too.
25-yard line and the first down. Calabria to throw. Looking on the out pattern, picked off. There's Carson with the interception. And Carson sneaks down the sidelines, and no sooner do I say that he's been quiet, Dan comes up and says, well, Michael, here's an interception for you.
Carson read that. Calabria really shouldn't have thrown that ball up, Mike. He didn't have anyone open, and might have thrown it a little too eagerly.
So off the Dan Carson interception, Lindy has the ball, 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. And that is Sachem's 2nd turnover of the football game. Lindy has 3. 5 turnovers in the football game. Sachem cashed in one of their turnovers for a touchdown. Parker with the ball, running off right tackle, and Parker doesn't get much, maybe back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Mike Iglio, 35. Jim Hackett, who's been awful busy today from his middle linebacker position, 55, made the stop. Quarterbacking still, number 12, senior John Drago. Ron Frohl, Joe Parker, Brant Reith, Chris Gordon, take your pick. They're all in the backfield. Jerry Castaldo and Ed Wolf, who has been invisible today. He has not caught a pass, and I don't think they've thrown to him once. He's number 84. Drago looking, throwing, and Getfield has it. Flag down, and will probably be interference on Sachem. But Getfield made the catch anyway.
Mike, he made that catch with the defender on his back. Nice play by Getfield. There's that curl pattern that we were talking about earlier, which Coach Fred Fusaro said is very hard to defend against. And Drago throws it better than anyone we've seen.
It is interference against Sachem. So Dan Burns, the referee, talks it over with Ron Frohl. as to what exactly they would like to do with this penalty.
Mike, you know, right now, in going into the halftime, Lindenhurst was down 7-6, 1 point. But let's remind everyone that last week against Longwood, Lindy was losing 14-0, coming back to scoring 43 unanswered points in the second half. And definitely they won't get 43, but they're on their way to scoring a few more points against Sachem now.
Well, with the penalty, the ball is at the 13-yard line. A first down for Lindenhurst. They are already within Joe Parker's range for a field goal. So Lindy is in some good scoring position right now.
Well, they're in Parker's range, but the wind will be going into Parker's face, which we'll have to consider.
O'Donnell and Getfield are wide left, but they're running Frohl up the middle, and he gets a yard, maybe 2 on the play. And John, the sun has come out and just about blinded me.
Me too, Mike. You know, Mike, the Bulldogs all year have been averaging 5.3 yards a carry, which is terrific. And although Drago scored hitting Getfield with that pass in the beginning of the second quarter, we haven't seen him throw the ball that much. It's been working on the ground for the Bulldogs. Their running game improving tremendously since the beginning of the season.
2nd and 8, Frohl with the ball again. And he gets 3 more, so it'll be a 3rd down situation, a 3rd and about 5. Now this is an interesting down, because it's a run-pass down, and you have the element of surprise, not necessarily a passing down. They could run the football on 3rd and 5. Seven and a half left to go, 3rd quarter. Sachem 7, Lindenhurst 6. Big play in the ball game, a 3rd and 5 for Lindy. They run Frohl outside. Frohl looking to get to the first down marker. He won't do it. I believe he's short by about a yard or so, maybe 2.
Mike, real nice play on there. You had Iglio and Peter Armstrong on the stop, among others, for the Flaming Arrows.
So now an interesting decision for head coach Rich Bianconello on the far sidelines. He's got a good field goal kicker in Joe Parker, who can certainly kick it from this distance. But I think they're going to go for it.
Mike, Parker got the school record against Floyd 2 weeks ago with a 41-yard kick that could have been good from 50.
You see Lindy wants a timeout. Coaches on the sidelines want to talk this thing over. Remember, they have the option of trying to draw Sachem offside, as they have done twice already in this football game, for first downs.
Mike, if my memory's correct, I think, was it Drago that holds for Parker on the kicks?
I think he does, yes.
So then we also have a perfect opportunity for, in addition to a kick by Parker, certainly a fake.
Last week on our high school game of the week, if you'll remember, at the end of the first half, with the East Islip Redmond trailing in the football game in a similar situation, and they decided not to go for a field goal at the end of the half and went for a touchdown. It failed. It came back to haunt them because Bayshore beat them by 10, but with 4 minutes left to go, East Islip rather, had no desire to drive for a touchdown because they knew they couldn't win the football game.
If they had opted for the field goal with those 4 minutes, and they did score the touchdown, tie game.
Or a possibility for a win if they go for 2.
For the 2-point conversion, yes. Mike, I had asked Coach, would he opt for a field goal in a situation such as this? He said, if push comes to shove, yes, but he'd rather get that touchdown. And it looks like that's what he's doing now.
It's a 4th down and 2 for Lindenhurst. They run Frohl up the middle. Frohl stopped at the line of scrimmage, and I don't think he got it.
No, Mike, he didn't even get across the line. Tremendous defense by the Flaming Arrows. Being stopped, Hackett among the many on that play. Good play by the Flaming Arrows. Can't say lucky break because they deserved every yard that they saved on that.
So we'll log that one down.
Tell you the truth, Mike, I was just a bit surprised. I would have liked to see Parker get that ball.
Under a minute to go at 1st and 10. Yeruso up the middle. 3 or 4 for Mike Yeruso.
Mike, on that punt return, after the play was blown and the whistle blown, rather, the play was dead, Tony Basalmo for Sachem seemed to be getting into a little extra action with one of the Bulldogs players, but Jim Hackett, number 55, captain of the Sachem team, just getting Basalmo out of the way. They don't want any of that. Hackett, a true team leader for this team.
Time winding down in the 3rd period. 15 seconds left to go. This will be the last play of the quarter. Giacchetto, but 2 flags are down. Someone moved for Sachem. Yeah, it'll be a legal procedure against the Arrows, so that'll back them up 5. So that will not be the last play of the quarter. 8 seconds left.
You know, Mike, Sachem has come out with some very, very good players out of this high school football program. Right now, and playing for Michigan is a player by the name of John Elliott, who at 6'7" comes in at 315 pounds and is a candidate for the Outland Trophy. All-American at Michigan. Coached under Fred Fasaro and his assistant coaches.
So with the clock starting again, we are about out of time here in this, the 3rd quarter. It was a scoreless, quick quarter, like the entire game has been. Very quick. So we've hit the end now of the 3rd quarter with the score. Arrows 7, Bulldogs 6. Back with the last 12 minutes of the football game in a moment.
Our town is building a future. The town of Islip leads the way.
Hello, I'm Betty Gallagher. The town of Islip offers our recycling. Islip's wrap program involves placing glass, metals, and paper curbside in your wrap container every Wednesday. It is then picked up and delivered to our recycling facility. Recycling is Islip's #1 strategy for the disposal of solid waste. In Islip, we recycle America, and proudly.
The town of Islip leads the way.
The people at Patchogue Ford are celebrating 50 years of commitment to service, the kind of service other dealers just talk about.
Our customer satisfaction department's sole responsibility is making sure that you're always completely satisfied.
It's my job to assist you in purchasing the right car and to make it an enjoyable experience.
Located in the heart of Suffolk County, Patchogue Ford is just north of Sunrise Highway on Route 112. Patchogue Ford is proud of their 50-year tradition of people committed to service, people committed to you.
We are set for 12 more minutes of football. Final quarter here. Mike Sutherly alongside John Connell and the entire TV 55 crew. Got Pete Kohler pressing the buttons today for you. And you've watched a good one. And it could be even better. 7-6 now. The Arrows run the draw play to Yeruso with some running room, and Mike Yeruso has a 1st down. Inside the 30 to the 28-yard line goes Mike Yeruso, the senior tri-captain. And the Arrows are in business again with a 1st down.
Like you saw Joe Dalibora chasing Yeruso. It wasn't for the extra effort by him dragging Yeruso down from the back. Yeruso was gone for a TD, no problem.
Yeruso is your classic fullback. 2 hands on the football. Not interested in breaking it for a 60-yard run, although I'm sure he'd love to do it. Just interested in getting the hard yardage. In the black uniform, he reminds me a little bit of Pete Vanasak. See how far back your memory goes. Raiders in the 70s. This is Yeruso at the ball again, just putting his head down and bowling his way forward for 5 or 6 more. There's number 31, Michael Yeruso. Vanasak had the nickname of the man that smelled the goal line. Anytime the Raiders were down there, they gave the ball to Pete, and it was an instant touchdown. Of course, they were the Oakland Raiders then. Now they're the Irwindale Raiders.
Irwindale Raiders?
Yes, they moved to Irwindale. Not yet, but they will be.
Are they going to change the name to Irwindale?
I think they will.
Wow.
So get your "Here we go, Irwindale" chant now. Yes. 2nd and 3 for Sachem. Giacchetto. And Giacchetto gets to the 20. short by about a yard, I believe, so it'll be a third down now for the Arrows, 3rd and 1. The crowd starts to get back into it a little bit.
Mike, the crowd was a little quiet for a while there. Now the Sachem is threatening near the goal line.
Yeah, they went to sleep in the 3rd period. They were up and about, though, and they came out to start the football game off.
Oh, that they were, Mike.
3rd and 1. Calabria gives to Yaruso, dives across, and Michael Yaruso has picked himself up a first down, or so it seems. Maybe Mike thought it was the goal line. Oh, they're not giving Michael a very good spot.
Not at all, Mike.
So let's bring out the chains one more time and see exactly whether he got the first down or not.
Well, at least Sachem's getting the benefit of bringing out the chains this time.
Originally, when Yaruso dove over the top of the pile, it looked like first down all the way, but with the spot, we'll wait. Yeah. Oh, get the credit card out. Do we have a credit card thing here? We're going to have one of those. Yep, they're going to do it. You see that? They're putting a piece of paper in between, and they give Sachem the first down. It's so close that the referee has to put an object in between the ball and the yard marker to see whether it's a first down or not. Saw that in the Jet game. Jet Colt. That was the only highlight from that game, as I seem to remember, as the Jets lost 6-0 in that replacement nonsense.
Oh, that's over and done with. However, I still think that this is the game to watch today. The Giants, as you recall, Mike subtly predicting, will win by 50.
I don't know whether to gloat over my Cardinal pick in the World Series yet. Could be over by the time this is on. 1st and 10 now for Sachem. Calabria looking into the end zone, and almost, did he catch it? No, incomplete. Crowd doesn't know it yet, but Ken Hayes trapped the football.
Mike Hayes making a nice dive in an attempt to that. An attempt to catch that.
A little bit better of a pass, and that would have been a completion. So now, 2nd and 10. Both teams have played it very close to the vest, as they say.
Well, Mike, as we're getting close to the goal line, we have to remember that, speaking of field goal kickers, Sato of Sachem can kick the ball himself.
At the 20-yard line, 2nd and 10 now for the Arrows. They lead 7-6, 9:21 left to go in the football game. Giacchetto runs off left tackle. And Giacchetto brought down by Joe Dalbora, number 62, who's been busy so far.
Yes, he had made a real nice tackle earlier on this drive on Giacchetto, I believe, stopping him from advancing for a lot more yardage, possibly even a TD. Mike, once Lindy does get the ball back, they're going to have the wind at their back, which will be a big advantage for them, assisting Drago's arm and Parker's foot, although neither of the two need that much assistance.
The Arrows are disorganized, so they're going to call for time.
Well, the Arrows don't really mind right now taking the time. Let that clock tick away. Although they only have a 1-point advantage, hold on to it.
So you see it displayed for you on the Sachem scoreboard. There you see the Rutgers Cup teams in 77. Fred Fusaro, the head coach then. In 1986, last year, Fusaro beat this Lindenhurst team to get his Rutgers Cup. They beat him 28-7 in the playoffs. But earlier in the season and during the regular season, Lindenhurst was the only team to beat Sachem all of last year, 15-12 at Lindenhurst.
Mike, with that game, it was all late game interceptions. With 5 minutes left, the Bulldogs intercepted. And then later, you remember Russo intercepting with less than a minute, which gave Lindy the win. And with that, we're going to see some late game action in this game. Mike, you know, if you look over Sachem's schedule, you see right away last week destroying Brentwood 37-14, beating Longwood 41-14, and the opener beating Connecticut 28-3, but in week 2 losing to Floyd 21-6, which was a surprise.
First time that Floyd has ever beaten Sachem. 3rd and 7 with the crowd into it a bit. Calabria to throw. Has some time looking into the end zone, and it is batted away at the last second by Mike Sessa.
Mike, beautiful defensive play by Sessa. He saw that coming all the way, was not beat, and able to knock that ball away.
So now a 4th down for Fred Fusaro. The ball is spotted at the 18-yard line, so it will be a 35-yard kick for Sato. If he kicked it and it went through, Lindenhurst would need a touchdown to win the football game.
Well, Mike, we have to remember right now, they do have the wind against them.
That's a very good point.
You know, Sato does have a good foot, but that might be his limit, that 35, 40-yard line. With the wind, I wouldn't go for it.
Well, I think they're going to go for it.
I wouldn't go for the kick, I mean.
They're going for the time, and I believe time has expired, and it's going to be delay a game on Sachem. And that has to be driving Fred Fusaro bonkers on the sidelines, for lack of a better word.
Mike, a penalty like that you just can't afford, especially in a situation like that. You know, if Sachem was able to draw Lindy offsides, that might have given them the extra yardage they need to put Sato into field goal range. Now forget it. There's Fred right now. If you could only see what goes on in the mind of a head coach.
So now it's 4th down and 12 instead of 4th and 7. And Calabria will have to throw the football. He does. Flag is down. Calabria throws it. It's caught by Sato. Close to a 1st down. I believe he's short, though, by a couple. But there is a flag thrown far side of the field, and it's going to be a legal procedure against the Arrows anyway.
Oh, Mike. And there you hear the Sachem Flaming Arrow Marching Band, a very fine one at that, coming on strong with the Flaming Arrow Warpath song. There was an Indian running around here earlier in the game. You might going through it was interesting. This year we've had the advantage of having 3 homecoming games that we covered on TV 55 High School Game of the Week. We had Riverhead, Bayshore, and the Flaming Arrows, and the fans go all out.
So now it's 4th down and 17 with the illegal procedure. It was 4th and 7. So now Calabria looking into the end zone, and it is caught. Touchdown, Sachem. Ken Hayes, number 23, with the touchdown for the Arrows.
Mike, that play was unbelievable. Hayes was covered all the way. Oh, Mike, let's look at that now. There you see from 4th and 17 after an illegal procedure penalty. Calabria dropping back, looking, spots Hayes down at the sideline. He's covered, throws. Hayes managed to hold on to the ball and dives in for a touchdown. What a play.
Sato on for the extra point. So on 4th and 17, the Arrows strike for 6. Flag down, Sato's kick on the way. And the referee did not signal whether it was good or not. There's a flag thrown, which means it's going to be a penalty against the whole Lindenhurst.
Mike, you know, there's an interesting question going on here. One of the coaches up there with
us. He wants to know whether the kick was good, and he's got a good point. Then none of the officials signaled whether the kick was good or not. And if they move the ball half the distance to the goal line, which they will, gives Fred Fusaro the opportunity to go for 2, although I don't understand why he would. They're going to go for 1 point now. If Fred Fusaro had decided to go for 2 and made it, Lindenhurst would need 2 scores to win the football game. As it stands now, if Sato's extra point goes up and good, which it does, Lindenhurst now needs a touchdown and a 2-point conversion just to tie. So evidently, John, on that extra point, it was either no good or the play was just nullified to begin with because Lindenhurst was offside.
I imagine that's what happened, Mike.
Because had the kick been good and Fred Fusaro took the penalty, he would have had to have his head examined. So, and I don't think Fred would do that. So, in any event, it is 14-6 Arrows, 8:25 left to go in the football game, no overtime in regular season high school football.
Mike, earlier, both you and I were talking to Coach Biancanello from the Bulldogs, and we were talking about this wind that was going on, and he said, well, I don't think about it in the first half, but come the second half, especially with a game like this, I'd like to have the wind at my back. Indeed, that's what he has, and he has 8 minutes, 25 seconds to see what he can do.
Crowd gets into it, spelling out Sachem. A low, short kick fielded by Mike Sessa. And Sessa gets to the 32-yard line.
We have an official down on that play, Mike. Number 21 for Sachem, Andrew Casara getting pushed into the official, knocking him down.
So now Lindy, who needs a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie this football game up, will try to march downfield.
Touchdown, Parker field goal.
Touchdown, Parker field goal wins the game for Lindenhurst. And it makes you look like an absolute genius.
That doesn't happen too often.
I believe that's Brant Reith with the football, number 40. And Brant gets a quick 4.
You know, Mike, an interesting fact to point out is that during the week before the games, the teams exchange films. The opposing team exchanges films of last week's game. So that is, during the week, Sachem was able to preview Lindy in last week's game against Longwood. There's an interesting point about the exchange of films that we'll get to after this play.
2nd and 6. Drago to throw. Looks up the middle and has Ed Wolf wide open. Wolf's first reception of the game, good for a Lindenhurst first down.
Mike, there it is. Earlier you said Wolf was quiet. He was so quiet he was able to sneak into the wide open field. You know, because the players do tend to key on Wolf, that opens up players like Getfield, who scored earlier in the game. And now Sachem is covering other receivers, so Wolf has a chance to get open.
Ed Wolf, 6'3", 225 pounds, and a senior. One of the co-captains of the football team, and according to Rich Biancanello, his head coach, as good a tight end as you'll find on Long Island. And Long Island's big. It's 18 by 120, so he's making a big statement there. Drago to throw. Looks up and incomplete. Jim Hackett buried somebody. He buried Ronnie Frall, number 42, and then helped him up.
Mike, there you saw Hackett burying the guy, helping him up. Jim Hackett, I salute you.
All legal.
All legal, and then helping him up. One of the finest players we've seen in high school football all around. Not only can play well, but his leadership qualities, his spirit, his sportsmanship, and he wears number 55 besides.
If you're going to wear a number, it's got to be that one to get any sort of recognition on this station. 6:51 left to go here in the football game. Drago fakes inside, looking for the screen, and that's incomplete. Hackett's there again. Uh-oh, flag down.
Mike, I definitely, they might call that a penalty on Hackett, but it looked like he was going for the ball. He just, unfortunately, fell down on top of Frall. Was that Frall?
I believe so. Well, Jim's father is up next to us here in the press box. And oh, wait a minute. We've got a couple of penalties. We have 2 penalties, I believe.
Like, while they're marching off, getting back to the films, in the exchange of films, because of the way the schedule works out, Lindy, always sees Sachem's game because their opponents of that week played Sachem last week. So they've had an opportunity all season to preview Sachem, so they know their players very well.
It was not interference, John. It was face masking. A 15-yard face mask penalty called against Jim Hackett. So 1st and 10 at the 30. Fumbled snap. Drago pounces on it. He'll lose 4. So they didn't call interference. They called face masking.
Well, Mike, going up for the ball, Hackett did come down. What was it, Frohl? That he came down on?
I believe so. I'm not sure, though.
Let's presume it was Frohl. He came down on Frohl, and Frohl went down, and I'm surprised he didn't get hurt. He turned back, his legs went underneath him, and it's very quite possible that, Hackett's hands got caught in the face mask. There was no need to face mask. It was definitely not intentional. Tough call for the Flaming Arrows.
2nd and 14, Drago to throw. Has Castaldo, but Castaldo's wrapped up. The Arrows read that well.
That was Brian Harvey on that play.
One of the linebackers. Short gain on the play. And it'll bring up 3rd down and about 10 as they get back to the original line of scrimmage. So now you're Rich Biancanello. You know that in this situation, you're going to go for 2 plays on this, so you don't have to get to 10 yards in one. Third and 10. Drago pumps, looking downfield, and Russo's open, but a super defensive play by Ken Hayes, number 23.
Mike, Ken Hayes has been all over the field today. Read that, saw it coming. Couldn't be a better defended play than that. Ken Hayes, nice play.
At the last possible moment, knocks it away. Now 4th down for Lindy. And they will go for it, I'm sure. Although Joe Parker is in the football game. Fourth down for Lindenhurst. Drago will go for it. Has all day. Now he's in trouble and throws it to no one. So Sachem holds, and with 5:13 left, Fred Fusero will try to run the clock out. He leads 14-6.
Okay, tough break for Lindy. That might have been the chance that they had, Mike, and the Flaming Arrows doing a fine job defending all of that. They knew Drago was going to be relied on by the Bulldogs, and they defended well against it. All week, I'm sure Sachem was practicing on their secondary and doing a fine job.
I'd like to also mention that this game is being brought to you by Sabre Camera and Electronics. Play the winning hand at Sabre with locations in Manhasset, Belmore, Patchogue, Carl Place, Lynbrook, and Comac.
Hey, Mike, I told you they'd remember me.
Yes. Thanks to our director, Pete Kohler. And the rest of the TV 55 crew. You know, I was busted on Larry Van Patten last week, and his mother got upset with me. People were calling him up and saying, who is this guy making fun of me?
This is the game, people. This is the game to watch. Stay with us for a climatic finish.
Lindenhurst takes their time. Drago to throw. Has time. Looks downfield. Getfield's open. First down. And Getfield gets across midfield. Or rather to the 46-yard line. Clock is stopped as they get the chains moved on the Lindenhurst sidelines. Clock is stopped with 40 seconds left to go. A strong throw that time by Drago. He'll have to do it a couple of more times. Looks to the sidelines. The ball is caught. Didn't get out of bounds, did Tom O'Donnell. Short of the first down.
Mike, Tom O'Donnell almost had a little trouble holding on to that ball.
Clock moves with 23 seconds left to go. Drago improvises. Little screen pass to Joe Parker. He's trying to get out of bounds, and he does. And very close to a first down with 11 seconds left to go.
Mike, this is what it's all about, Mike. Sachem, Flaming Arrows, Lindenhurst Bulldogs, only 11 seconds left. Lindenhurst threatening, but they need more. They're going to need that 2-point conversion. What a game we have here on this homecoming afternoon.
You're looking at it now. 11 seconds left to go. Getfield wide to the right. Drago to throw. Looks over the middle. Getfield has it. He catches the ball, and the clock now has to stop because they have to move the chains. 6 seconds left to go. Lindy up on the ball quickly.
Mike, moving those chains is to the advantage of the Lindenhurst team.
They get the chains in. 5 seconds left. Drago with one last try. Pumps once, looking for Getfield in the end zone. Ball hangs up. Incomplete. And that's it. No time left.
Mike, what a game we had. What a game.
Phil Getfield was open.
Mike, there you see Sachem going wild, deservedly so. They earned this win. And on the field, you have Coach Biancanello, Fred Pissarro, just exchanging congratulations. There they are, Sachem marching band.
So a huge crowd here at Sachem enjoys what they see. The Arrows trailed 6-0 in the game. They run off 14 points and beat Lindenhurst in the best game we've had on TV 55 in quite a while. John and I will be back to wrap it with interviews. The final here at Sachem. The Arrows 14, the Bulldogs 6.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sachem High School homecoming day. Beautiful day for football. The Sachem Flaming Arrows think it's even more beautiful because they just won this homecoming day by a score of 14-6. I'm standing right here next to Jimmy Hackett, number 55. Jimmy, great game today. Did you expect that it was going to turn out this way?
Kind of, yeah. We were influenced by our play by the things they've been saying during the week, such as that it's going to be an easy week for them. It's just going to be a warm-up for the next game, and we got kind of upset about that.
Well, it turned out that definitely wasn't easy. They had a chance in the closing seconds of the game to score. They almost did. Drago got off a beautiful pass over to Getfield, but it was just a little overthrown. Did you think that Drago was going to have the kind of day that he did have today?
Yeah. Well, he's a good quarterback. He's a great quarterback. But up here at the wind tunnel, as we call it, passing game is virtually impossible unless you have a calm day, which is you never do up here.
No, we saw the wind definitely was a factor. There was a play that you were involved in on I believe it was a pass that you tried to deflect, that you went over the receiver and came down, and coming down you seemed to have landed on him. In fact, he fell. I almost thought he was hurt. And you got called for face mask. What happened?
I was just going down, chopping his arm, so he missed the ball, and my hand got stuck in between the face mask, and it was kind of accidental. I didn't really mean it, but I guess they thought it wasn't, so.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy, so one of the captains on the team, deservedly so. Fine football player. Thanks a lot for talking to us. Okay, we turn over to this guy here, number 23, Kenny Hayes. Ken, in one of the plays of the game, Drago made a beautiful pass. You covered it well, snuck in right behind the receiver, and deflected it. Were you working on your passing game defense all week?
That's all we're doing. We were just looking. We watched him in the films. We know he had a great arm, and that's all the coaches kept saying was stay deep, don't get beat deep, and we have to have a good game. It's going to come down to that.
With concentrating so much on the passing game, were the coaches also worried about the running game?
Yeah, we have a good running game as well, and when it depended on the weather today, and when we woke up, it's beautiful, so we know it's going to be mostly in our game. So we worked both really.
Okay, your defense was spectacular, but even more spectacular, possibly the reason why you did win this game, was your catch. Far down into the end zone from where we were, it looked like no way were you going to catch this ball. You were defended very, very heavily. How'd you manage to catch that? It was a fantastic catch.
Well, John Calabria put it right out there, and it was good coverage. We had him turned around. As he came around, he made contact, but the ball was just right there. It went right between his hands into mine. He was concentrated.
Well, Jimmy, thank you very much. Kenny, I'm sorry. Great game. I hope you do well next week.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Mike, let's see. You're standing by. You got Fred Fissarro. Let's see what happens. Mike?
Okay, John, thank you very much. With head coach Fred Fissarro, and you're 3-0 on this station here, Fred, so we're going to have to come a little bit more often.
What you guys doing for 10 games, huh? About 12? You're right, 3-0. Every time you guys come, we win.
Okay, Coach, this was a concerted effort, pulled in together by everybody.
Oh, I can't tell you how much. Our assistant coaches, Steve Hackett, Steve Tuttle, Tony Patillo, and Mike Harwood, they did a great job coaching these kids. I mean, that was a very good football team we just beat, and I attribute it to the effort of our kids and the great coaching job that they did all week. I mean, we covered them defensively as well as they're going to get covered all year. They just did a great job of coaching them.
It seems to me that John Drago was running for his life a couple of times today.
Well, we did put pressure on him. You know, when we had to put pressure on him, we did put pressure on him, which helped us because the kid is just a great quarterback. I mean, it's like playing Russian roulette the entire game. Every time he touches the ball, it can be 6 points. In the fourth quarter, when we had to put pressure on him, our kids came off the ball, and we got some people in his face, and it helped him, you know, helped us as far as him hurrying his throw, so that helped.
Is this Sachem team lying in the woods here at 4 up and 1 down? He's sort of trying to spring up on people?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think that if these kids keep coming along the way they've done so far, I think they're capable of beating just about anybody. I really do. Because they're getting better each week, and today's game just gave them a tremendous amount of confidence. Tremendous amount. Now, I think they're capable. If they have the right mental attitude and we don't get banged up, I think they're capable of beating anybody.
Coach, thank you very much. 3-0 in this station. We're glad.
Sabre